Okay, this next question comes from Marlina Carter, and Marlina says, what is the best thing to do with excess capital or cash that I'm bringing into the business? Marlina has a pet grooming company, and she anticipates having the possibility of having excess cash and wants to know if she should deposit it into her checking account and leave it there, or what should she do with it that might earn her some additional interest as opposed to checking accounts. Okay, this is a great question, Marlina. One of the things that we want to do as owners of our business is manage cash flow. And I remember when in my last business, when there was excess cash flow that was in the business, I would look for things that I could do with that cash to invest in the business that would help bring in more revenue or reduce expenses. So I wanted, because remember, a dollar saved is a dollar earned. So some of the things that we used to do is when we had a vendor that we would buy products from and we had excess cash and we knew that we were going to use these products all year long, we would reach out to our vendor and say, hey, if we put in a really big order, what kind of discount could we get? So let's say, for instance, I'm used to buying things $1,000 a month at a time, and I've got $10,000, $20,000 of excess cash on the books, right? I go to my vendor and say, hey, listen, if I go ahead and pay for $10,000 of an order instead of $1,000, what kind of discount would you be willing to give me? Sometimes they'll be willing to give you a 5, 10, 15, 20% discount for making a large purchase order. If you save yourself 10, 20%, that's the same thing as getting a 10 or 20% return on your investment with zero risk, right? Mark Cuban talks about this a lot. He says, when you have consumable staple items in your household, like toilet paper and toothpaste and things like that, buy it in bulk and get the discount, because that is a guaranteed return on investment with zero risk. So that's one of the first things we can do with excess cash flow, is try to use that money to leverage discounts to get a good return on investment on that money. Because if you take that money and bonus it out to yourself, so you might pay a 33% bonus tax to get that money in your personal checking account, where you can then invest that money in the stock market or some other financial instrument, you've got the tax burden that you're paying and the risk associated with investing that money somewhere. Easiest places to look are, where can I invest and get volume discounts to save money? That's what I would do. Over and above that, once you've exhausted that, then you have to get the money over into your personal checking account, which can be in the form of an increased paycheck or a bonus. I wouldn't recommend a dividend, depending on the type of business you have, because dividends, you're going to pay the corporate tax and the individual tax. You don't want to do that. Then once you have enough money saved up personally, get yourself a good financial advisor and start putting together a financial plan to invest your money for the short term, middle term, and long term, and they can help you out with a plan. I'd recommend getting someone who is a registered investment advisor or a certified financial planner to help you in that regard. Okay? Thanks, Marlina.